Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
The place is here and the time is now. Let's take it round for round. And people gather round. Let's see who can win the crown. All the models involved. Football, baseball, or golf. Who's dominating the hoops? Who's talking false or the truth? Yeah, come and show me your war face. I'll show you my war face. No holds barred, so for your sake, you better show up in good shape. Valuable information is key to your domination. So focus on preparation. Online is your reputation. Yeah, it's one-on-one. You and me, ain't no fear in me. You will see. When it comes to this, you'll be wearing the number 23. In debate, I hold my way, cause these sports I'm attached to it. Your legacy, get ready, cause I'm gonna set a match to it. Hey. Burn 'em, fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
This week's panel: Jay Quimby, Lamont Thomas, James Brown, and Cody Stewart.
What it do, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Legacy on Fire here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. And we are so glad to have you here. And it's going to be a good one today. We got a lot to talk about in the eternal flame pit of love here, here on Legacy on Fire.
The devil's anus
for every week. What's up, everybody? Once again, I'm your man, Darrell Lawrence, here, host of the Legacy Maker, Legacy Maker Sports Podcast. My mind is in another place. Y'all already know I'm still grieving. So we're here on Legacy on Fire. Of course, let me go ahead and introduce the fellas. And of course, I'll start off with my man Cody Stewart. State your record for last week. Tell them how it went down, Cody.
3-1, baby. Let's go. Too bad Green Bay couldn't pull it off. My bad, Dio. Hey, real quick, I just want to say, though, I hate to start the show off so somber, but like RIP to Kobe Bryant and Gigi Bryant. Yes. Makes it 2 years since they passed. So just want to send my love and all that to the NBA and the Bryant family.
Still crazy. Can't believe it's been 2 years, man. I know exactly where I was when that bad boy happened. Next, we got Mr. Lamont Thomas. Lamont, state your record. Tell him what went down.
I was 2-2, man. 2-2. The Juggernauts definitely, they couldn't pull it through, but you know what? It's all good. We're gonna make it.
All right. James Brown, undefeated the week before. How'd it go this week?
That is good, man. 2-2. I mean, we had some things that fell through. Yeah. Interceptions were thrown. Terrible.
Well, punts were blocked, but we'll talk about that later. And of course, the man, myth, and the legend, the birthday boy, or at least a day early, Mr. Jeremiah Quimby. Tell us how it went down, bro.
3-1. Not bad, but fucking coin flips. I mean, really?
Yeah, I tell you.
And some really suspect refereeing and bullshit that didn't make sense. Just funness everywhere. It was so great.
Definitely a great weekend of playoff football. And of course, I went 1-3, and I just thank the Bengals for not making me. I almost went 0-4 because I almost picked the Titans. So I'm so glad that I went with the Bengals so I could save face and back-to-back weeks of finishing in last place. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get into our quick takes, and we're gonna start this one right. It's gonna hurt my feelings, but we're gonna go ahead and start this one off proper, ladies and gentlemen. Is it time? Is it the end of an era in Green Bay? We know that the Packers lost their playoff game to the San Francisco 49ers, a game that, I don't know if some people should be surprised. This guy wasn't. You can ask Lamont about that. We talked about it all the way coming from the VCU game on Saturday. But I'm going to go ahead and ask you, fellas, is it the end of an era? I'm going to start this one off with Lamont. Is it over in Green Bay?
All right, let me first by saying my condolences, man. First and foremost, I'm sorry. We did talk about it, and I know how much you wanted the W, man. But yeah, I think it is the end of an era. We saw a lot of riffraff backlash, whether or not Aaron Rodgers was even going to play this year for the Packers. So I do think it's an end of an era for the Packers. And I think, it can't always seem to have all the pieces, right? You still had, in the game we talked about Bakhtiari trying to come back, make a comeback, and, give it a go. But then you had Dennis Kelly, trying to block Billy Turner. Not a good look. I don't know. I think it's over for him, man. I think, they'll have to go back to the drawing board and, a couple of years, you'll be back.
Maybe. Cody Stewart, is it the end of an era, brother?
We'll go ahead and make that 2 for 2 because I'm gonna agree with Lamont, and it's over, man. I'm sorry to say, Dio, but Rodgers is gone. And I mean, the thing that if I was a Packers fan that would hurt me the most is the fact that, like, to me, this seemed like the year. Like, this seemed like the year that, like, the defense was playing really well. You have Aaron Rodgers as quarterback. He, produces magic. I thought that this was going to be the year, but they just fell short like they had the past decade almost. But I want to say this. How do you have, as far as the franchise for Green Bay, how do you have 2 of the probably top 10 to 15 quarterbacks to ever play the game, and you only come away with 2 championships, man? I mean, I said last week, I feel like Jerry Jones sold his soul for the Cowboys to win those 3 Super Bowls. It almost feels like something of the same is going on in Green Bay.
Hey, look, Cody, it wouldn't even surprise me, man. Look, it wouldn't even surprise me. The crazy thing about it is people tell me this all the time. I had a conversation with one of my boys about it, and I said, look, I mean, if you look at it, the Packers should have been at least, in my opinion, in 6 Super Bowls between Favre and Rodgers, at least 6. To make out of 3, I'm like, but it too many championship game losses, man. It is what it is. I'm gonna try to mourn. I did a different time. James, is it the end of an era in Green Bay?
So to start off, Cody, I think those souls might have been all the people who are tricked into buying Packers stock year in and year out. The sacrifice for that is, Green Bay doesn't win championships. They make playoff runs, but no championships. I think that's the sacrifice. But I think it is over for Rodgers and Green Bay. Hell of a ride for him, but at this point, I mean, he's coming back if he does on 1 year left on this deal, and then he's probably going to want an extension. He's already making on average $33.5 million a year, which means he's going to want to bump up in pay. And you still don't know if Adams is coming back. You got a lot of guys on that roster that are either almost due or you've already paid. So, that money, it's going to be tough to make it happen too. So, I think while he still got some value, might be time to go ahead and ship him.
I understand completely. This is painful, but this is therapy for me. This is therapy for me. Jay, is it the end of an era in Green Bay? Oh, you didn't have to wave. You didn't have to wave. That's tough.
I just want to say, Mr. Rodgers, we could definitely use your services down in Tampa Bay if Brady retires. Throwing it out there, we can work around and build a team around you. We've done it once. We can do it twice. The Packers really just, the front office is to blame. He needs weapons. They drafted 1 wide receiver to help and did nothing. I think he was a special teamer. That's it. And then, they got enough linemen, I guess, he should never be sacked. But it's done. Yeah, I'm sorry, Darrell. You got Jordan Love.
Look, I'm gonna go ahead and put the clock on myself here. All right, so look, it's like this for me, fellas. I look back and there's only one way he's staying there. And it's going to have to be out of the kindness of his heart. He's going to, first of all, have to take a pay cut, a Tom Brady pay cut, which I don't see happening because as much as I love my diva quarterback, he's a diva. He wants that dough. And he wants to go somewhere, I think, where he he can just have open access. And I thought the Packers did a really good job of abiding by some of the things he wanted. They did go out there and try to sign people. They signed people on the defense, which made that defense better. You know what I'm saying? The offensive line, despite Bakhtiari not being there, was phenomenal all year long for the majority of even in that game. They weren't bad in that game. They were actually pretty good in that game. But once again, one side of the ball always hunts the Green Bay Packers. And over years, the special teams haven't been the problem. But this time around, the special teams was the problem. I knew it. I called it weeks ago. Oh, my God. All right. I'm over it. Thank you all for the therapy session. I truly appreciate that. And now we're going to swing to our next topic. And this one might be Jay's therapy session. We're going to talk a little bit about the end, potentially an end of an era, another end of an era. But this time, we're starting to hear talks that Tom Brady could retire, that he may decide, you know what, that's it for me. I'm out of it. He's proven everything he needs to prove. You know, Gronk is starting to whisper that he may not come back. So it gets interesting here. So, Jay, I don't know if you want to start this one. If not, I can definitely move.
I'll start. I mean,
okay, Jay, go ahead. Let's see what happens here.
Tom brought me another ring. We had our best season ever. He set more records for us. I'm happy with what he's brought. I mean, we got 8 Pro Bowlers this year. I mean, I remember years when we didn't have 8 players that were good over, like 50 on Madden rating. So I'm good with it. We got to bring back certain key players that are going to be free agents, draft again correctly. We don't need another fucking shitty quarterback like Kyle Trask. I mean, but there's so much talk of, there's 3 quarterbacks potentially that we could go after that would fit great. Rodgers, Wilson, Watson. I will take any one of them and build around them. I mean, we have a good foundation right there.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what? They got the weapons. I think they can. If Brady leaves, you pretty much can get Godwin back. You're going to have Evans. If you can get a Brady or Rodgers or, who knows? I'm not Brady. I mean, it's that Wilson or Rodgers. Who knows? James, what's the deal here, man? Is this it for Tom Brady in Tampa Bay?
Heck no. I mean, come on. The guy said he wanted to play till he was 45, possibly 50. If my memory serves correct, I think he turned 44 this year. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Brady's coming back. I mean, he had a tough loss on Sunday. It's a lot to process. He's coming back. You can stamp it. I mean, why retire now? He's still at the top of the game as far as being a top 5, top 10 quarterback in the league. He still has command over that offense. I think maybe you retool it, maybe get him another offensive lineman or so. That left tackle seems a little suspect. Maybe get him another tackle to pair with Tristan Wirfs. Maybe see what you can do as far as retooling your defensive secondary. Brady will be back. The Bucs will still be contenders in the South and the NFC. Don't worry. Don't fret, Jay. You got another year to 2.
Jay's like, I'll be cool with that.
Yes, sir.
LT, is it over for your guy, the Michigan man?
I don't know, but I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say he'll hang it up. Jay, I know you love it. No, but I say he'll hang it up. I think he did say 44. He told USA Today, I believe, in July, 44, 45-ish. He's right there. He says that, I don't know. I think it'll be the perfect send-off. You got Ben retiring. Who knows what's going to happen with A-Rod. But I don't know. I think Brady he's seen enough of the struggle, right? It's like, what more can he do? He goes out having one of his best years ever, and he just doesn't seem like the one that wants a farewell tour. I think he just literally wants to ride off in the sunset. But the competitiveness in him, I don't know if he'll be able to walk away, like he will have to do now. So we'll see. But I say he's done.
All right. Cody, is it? This is it.
I do feel that this is probably the 1 year where it really does seem very real that it's a very good possibility that he does retire. But I just don't think it happens. This season for the Buccaneers reminds me a lot of that last season that he had with the Patriots when I think it was the last year he had with the Patriots when he ended up losing to Tennessee, I believe, in the playoffs. And I just don't see him ending his career on a loss like this. I think he understands that if that team that he played with in the Buccaneers this year, if they were fully healthy, if they had Godwin playing, if the offensive line was 100%, they likely go back to the Super Bowl and possibly win it again. So I just think that he understands that, a fully healthy team, which is very hard to come by playing in January, but still he knows that they could have done it. And I want to say really quickly, I know my time's about to run out, but Lamont brings up a very good point about Ben Roethlisberger. I really feel I got to get it out, DL. I got to get it out.
Go ahead, get it out.
I feel like Tom Brady is going to be that guy where when he goes into the hall, he wants it to be about him per se. And I'm not saying he's a cocky guy or anything like that, but him retiring now, you know for a fact him and Ben Roethlisberger will make it into the Hall of Fame the same year. I think he at least wants to know, like, look, there's no other quarterback close to me when I enter the Hall of Fame. And then obviously we're going to pick Tom Brady over Ben Roethlisberger, but I'm just saying, clear cut, he wants it to just be him.
That makes a lot of sense. I think he comes back at least one more year. What you got, Jay?
I got just one thing. It's something that my future wife said to me, that this might be his last year because Giselle has put her career and life on hold for what he's doing, and she is still, tagging along. So you got to take that into factor too. Plus, his kids are getting older.
That's true. James?
So I hear what you're saying, but let's also not sit here and act like Tom Brady ain't gonna go out after winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he getting number 8.
I mean, Manning did it. Elway did it. Not a lot of guys get to do it, but you can damn sure bet the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, he's gonna be one of those guys that gets to do it. So maybe after he gets that next ring, which is always his favorite ring, maybe then he'll ride off into the sunset. But let's not sit here and act like he's not gonna retire before winning one more. Like, come on now.
Yeah. My prediction is if it happens, it'll be next year. I like what Cody said. I don't think he wants to go in with another. Like, he wants that bad boy to be about himself. He knows he's getting in.
Keep in mind, there's some insiders that have predicted, the right moves with Brady. Seth Wilkerson from ESPN. 2 years before Brady left New England, he was the first one to say, one of the first people to say he will leave. Right. So you have that. You have he's kind of been throwing teasers out there all year this year, that this might be it for him. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully he comes back. Come on back.
Yeah, man. I mean, the NFL is always going to be better. Let's be honest with you, with Brady in there. Everybody wants to beat Brady. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Matt Stafford can say that he beat Tom Brady in the playoffs. I cannot believe it.
If Brady does retire, Panther fans and Falcons fans are going to be going.
Oh yeah,
you got Sean Payton leaving the Saints the other day. Then Tom, come on, man.
This division is about to be. It's like anybody can win it again, baby. Speaking of
not anybody. NFC Atlanta South can win it again.
Speaking of the NFC South, let's talk about New Orleans. And great segue there, Cody. As we talk about New Orleans and try to figure out, man, what's next for New Orleans. Sean Payton said, look, man, I'm stepping away. 16 great years with the Saints, a lot of division championships, a Super Bowl, two Super Bowl appearances, if I'm not mistaken. I could be. Did he make 2 Super Bowls or just one?
One.
It was just the one. He went to a Super Bowl, had a couple of chances at some heartbreaks came his way, but nevertheless, a great man for the community of New Orleans. And now New Orleans is all of a sudden in shambles. Like, I don't think anybody saw this bad boy coming. I mean, I didn't hear anything about it until that last minute. All of a sudden, 2 days later, he's gone. I'm gonna start with James because James, if anybody's happy right now, Tom Brady leaving, Sean Payton running away. What are your thoughts here, man? What's next for New Orleans?
Man, when the news came
Christmas
across,
came early,
late, in between,
you just kicked him out.
I'll take it, man. Peyton, obviously a great coach, a great man, did a lot for the city of New Orleans, especially helping them rebuild from Hurricane Katrina. Got in the Super Bowl with Breeze in 2006. I mean, he's always been an offensive mastermind. There's been plenty of games where, he got the better of the Falcons to my chagrin. But, I can't, he'll definitely be missed as far as from the Saints community. From a competitive aspect, I guess I'm a little sad to see him go. But overall, man, I'm glad. I'm happy. It's good. It's no hard feelings. It's definitely no hard feelings.
Right.
Go ahead, man. Spend time with your wife, your kids. He said he wanted to get in better shape. Do all that. Take your time, too. Don't come back no time soon.
Take your time.
Go elsewhere. Go elsewhere. I hear Arlington and Frisco is nice this time of year.
I like that. Cody, what's next for New Orleans, man?
I agree. I was surprised when the news came across that Sean Payton was retiring. But, at the same time, when You got crab legs Winston as your quarterback, you know, and you're $70 million over the cap. Yeah, that would run me out of town as a coach as well, because you already know they've been kicking the can down the road as far as their roster goes and the contracts that they've been giving out. They've been kicking that can down the road for quite a few years now. And this might be the year where they just have to buck up, and it's time to get rid of some players to get under that cap. So I can 100% see a full rebuild coming in New Orleans starting this year. I don't know where they go from here, though. I mean, there's a lot of great head coaching candidates out there. There's a lot of good head coaching candidates that's already on their team. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways they can go, but I think there's going to be a big rebuild coming in New Orleans for the next couple of years.
Before we move on to the next guy, I love my cousin Pops on here, huge Dallas fan. Bring him to Dallas. Bring him to Dallas. Hey, look, he's like, please, whatever it takes. And look, he won Dak out too. He got to go. I hear you, cuz. I hear you. That's my cousin.
To get rid of Dak, that's almost a bigger can than New Orleans got at this point.
Right.
It's a little too late for that, cuz.
Right. So, Jay, what are your thoughts here? I know you're happy about this. I know you're happy about this.
I'm excited about it, yes. But, I mean, I agree 100% with what Cody said. If you look at the way that cap space is, and then the shit you had, your number one wide receiver didn't take a snap this year, and you're paying him a butt ton of money to do nothing. What are you, the Falcons? Oh, never mind. My bad.
Oh, no.
Wow.
No.
Wow. Wow, sir. That was mental health issues, Jay. Mental health. Jesus.
Mental health. I mean, I understand that, but
Ridley played some games.
Maybe
Maybe
5.
Anyways,
No.
maybe 5.
Wait a minute.
There's just so much going down there that, you know.
Thank you, Becca.
He didn't say he was retiring.
Thank you, Becca.
He said he's stepping away.
Right.
So he could end up in Atlanta. Who knows?
Maybe it's an OC.
I'm only giving you the buzzer because Becca said that was horrible, Jay. That's absolutely horrible.
The level.
LT, what are your thoughts, man? What's next for New Orleans, brother?
What's next? I don't know. I mean, like Cody said, they do have, you know, some options to go to. That cap, being over the cap that much is going to be tough. But you got Dennis Allen, you know what I'm saying, a guy, a defensive coordinator who's been there for quite some time. He was there working on the Saints defense. He left. He led that Broncos team on as a defensive coordinator in 2011 with Tebow and saving them and winning the playoff game against the Steelers. Can't forget that. And then you know, he went to Oakland at the time as a head coach. Didn't do too well, but he's back with the Saints. You know, that's a good look for him. You got Aaron Glenn, spent some time in the Saints. You know what I'm saying? DB coach from 16 to 20. He deserves another chance. Why not Aaron Glenn? You know, there's places you can go. Of course, offensive juggernauts. You still got the ones you're gonna have to fight for. You know, Bieniemy, the ball. Sorry, Cody, but they're out there. You know what I mean? So do what you got to do.
All right. Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting down there. Like I real quick, I'm gonna go through everybody real quick. I want to know, just, you know, give me a one-word answer. Who you think the next coach is, Jay?
Dennis Allen. They're going to stay there just because he knows all the bullshit.
James?
I agree. It's got to be Allen. Knows the building, knows the players. And also Sean Payton knew he was gone when Jameis was in the locker room dancing on the crutches. I feel like this moment right here, he knew. He was like, wait, you just tore your ACL and out for the season.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't deal with this shit no more.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I love me some Jameis, man. Jameis is hilarious, man.
Hey, he might be the funniest in the league.
He
might be the funniest player in the league. I swear. He does something every time.
Jameis is hilarious. I gotta agree, Dennis Allen. I mean, he's gonna be the man for the job. You know, he's been there. He knows the guys. The guys know him. Yeah, but yeah, Jameis is one of a kind, bro.
Cody,
clean sweep, Dennis Allen, man.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm gonna go Dennis Allen. if there's an outside chance of anybody, I don't know who it's going to be. Like, I mean, it would definitely have to be somebody tied with Roots. But I think Dennis Allen is the logical choice until you can figure out what you're going to do with this team. They got, as Becca says, I'm going to throw this out there real quick. I mean, they over the cap with Green Bay, but even more. Thank you, Becca, for the friendly reminder.
And she says, I'm horrible.
Wait a minute. You know, I can't help myself. Becca said, this is almost as bad as Grindgate. And when you mention it, you already know what's going down.
Get on my head. 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 Get on my head.
Okay. All right, y'all.
Dude, I just heard shit get thrown across the room.
Let me just say something. I get so like seeing that video. It just makes me like so uncomfortable. I can only imagine how uncomfortable that girl was.
She looked happy. Well, I don't know. She looked happy.
She would
I don't know
what was going on there.
She might have had some liquid courage, maybe. You know, something probably more than likely. Some liquid courage, some liquid gold. Man,
hey, no,
all right.
Liquid Cosby.
The next topic, Hall of Fame information came out as of yesterday. The only person to get into the Hall of Fame, I believe, with 77% was Mr. David Ortiz. He gets into the Hall of Fame. But the most critical thing out of everything that came from yesterday, Barry Bonds and Clemens are no longer eligible for the Hall. Their eligibility is up, which I still think is a stupid thing but eligibility thing. But anyway, their eligibility up, and they no longer have a chance. I think Bonds had 66%, so he was just a couple percentage points away. So, fellas, I really want to know your thoughts on this one, because this is the one that's starting to divide people. A lot of people say, it's a steroid era, and then you're like, well, this era changed baseball, but it kept baseball going. So there's a lot of different people with a lot of different feelings on this. Cody, I'm gonna start with you.
Look, man.
I'm gonna start with you because I know that Clemens was a Yankee, and I know he's got a little bit of here. Got to be a little bit of here.
It's just, I mean, to me, it makes no sense. And the reason why is because if you want to keep everybody out that took steroids or PEDs, David Ortiz can't make it. I mean, he was literally on a list back in 2003 of players who have taken it, along with Alex Rodriguez. So how are you going to put David Ortiz in this, but say because Bonds and because Clemens did PED, steroids, whatever you want to call it, they can't make it. It's just... It baffles me. And I just want to read off a couple stats. And I don't want to make this just about David Ortiz. I do believe he should make it. And I'm not making this about him saying he's less of a player. But listen to this stat. David Ortiz's on-base percentage in his career was .380. If you took all 762 career home runs away from Bonds and turned those into outs, Bonds' on-base percentage would be .384. So it would still be above David Ortiz taking 762 home runs away. And I also want to say this. Everybody wants to talk about Barry Bonds and when he got to San Francisco and, looked like he started, doing steroids and stuff, which he was accused back in 2000. Prior to being accused in 2000, he already had 494 career home runs, 1,405 RBIs, and 3 NL MVPs already. That's a Hall of Fame career by itself.
Exactly. Jay, what are your thoughts on this?
100% with Cody, because the one thing steroids does not do, it doesn't hit the ball for you.
Bingo.
There's nothing proven factually that steroids helps your eyesight, your eye-to-hand coordination. That was all Bonds. Bonds, yes, he might have got bigger, but it doesn't make you a better ball player overall. I mean, damn, he probably had problems tying his shoes, but he could still hit the ball. That was what you take away Tony Gwynn, the next best pure hitter that I've seen in my life was Barry Bonds. So he should have got in. I'm not a huge Clemens fan just because I don't like the Yankees. Never have. I know he went there because the Yankees pay everything. But I love CC. But, Clemens commanded the plate. He was good at it. And he was intimidating. When you knew you were going against Clemens, it was almost just like back in the 90s when you knew you were getting up on the plate and David Cohn was out there.
Ooh, David. Ooh, that's a nice name for you, David Cohn. Ooh, David Cohn. LT, what are your thoughts on this bad boy?
I don't disagree. I mean, Barry Bonds, man, what can you say? 7-time MVP, 14-time All-Star to Ortiz's 10th, by the way. 12-time Silver Slugger Award. I mean, 8 Golden Globes. What 8 Golden Gloves? What can you say? Like, I mean, he's one of the most feared, if not the most feared batter of all time. Like, come on, man. You guys got to stop it. And it doesn't make sense. You can't pick and choose when to ban somebody and when to let others in. I mean, you got to hold everybody accountable. So you got to let them in. Let the Rocket in too. Come on, man. Don't be ridiculous. But I mean, if you really want to bring out stats, there's no reason why he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. James, what are your thoughts on this bad boy?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I mean, it's baseball. I mean, I feel like when it comes to baseball, it's a bunch of old school guys sitting around talking about how the game was played back in the day. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember one big thing about with Barry Bonds when he was about to set the record. You know, everybody said, you know, oh, he did it on steroids. Ruth did it on beer and hot dogs. We don't know what the hell Babe Ruth did back in the day. We don't know what he did, who he did it with, or how. Who cares? Look, the guy was a great player. Clemens as well. Top of what they did. On the field performance alone, I feel like they both should be allowed in. I also feel like it's a stupid rule for the MLB to have a limit on the eligibility to be able to get into the Hall of Fame. Like, because I feel like that's honestly what's going to get them in there. That rule first has to be taken away. And then I feel like once we get a few of these cocky sports writers out of there, get some new blood in there, maybe they'll be the ones to say, you know what? Hey, these guys had a hell of a career. Let's get them in there. Let's honor them like they should be.
Well, you know, it's crazy to me because, like, you look at this and, I mean, what Clemens had, 7 Cy Youngs? And then, you know, Bonds had 7 MVPs. And, you know, in baseball, no Pete Rose. No Pete Rose. Your greatest hitter of all time. It's out. No Pete Rose. Your greatest home run hitter all time out. Guy with the most Cy Youngs.
Sports gambling is legal. You're opening up a whole new thing there because as soon as it
Pete Rose legal, he even took some tombstones, man. Come on.
And look, it's crazy to me, but it's just like you got your probably the 3 statistical greatest players in the game of all time, and they are not in the Hall of Fame.
Hey, Darrell, I want to say this. I have 2 things. Number one, baseball really got back on the scene during the steroid era. Like, we were seeing offense being played. The MLB surely didn't mind getting all that profit.
They sure didn't.
Yet you don't want to put some of the biggest names that deserve to be in there. It doesn't make any sense. Now, my second and last thing I wanted to say, another stat about Barry Bonds that is absolutely crazy. From 2001 to 2004, he was walked 40% of his at-bats.
That's crazy.
He still had 209 home runs in those 4 years. Come on, man.
It was must-see baseball. Like, that's the last time to me, I'll be honest with you, I think, like, watching Bonds, McGuire, Sosa, yeah, I know they're all crazy, but baseball was exciting then. It was leading Sports Center every night. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to me, it was like, oh my God, can he get the record today?
A regular season game instead of
regular. Exactly. Now, baseball playoffs has always been phenomenal. I'll never take that away from baseball playoffs. They're great. But man, like, this is the only time in the regular season you was like, oh, I got to see if he can break the record. It was such a big thing. And now you just like, no, it never happened, bro.
Isn't it crazy that in the NFL, if you get caught with PEDs, you get like a 4-game suspension?
Right.
But in baseball, it's like, you can't make the Hall of Fame. You get suspended for half the year.
Man,
like, what?
They get you crap. But A-Rod's going to get in. And A-Rod's going to get in. And I think it was you, Cody, that made this point. Media.
That's all it is.
Ortiz got in because he is a media darling now. A lot of the guys, you know, NFL Network, no disrespect to Kurt Warner and all them guys, but think about it.
Schilling,
that panel is Hall of Famers. It sounds good when you say, hey, we got the Hall of Famers with us. Yep. We got Michael Irvin and we got the Hall of Fame. Mooch is getting in next, y'all. Be ready, because Mooch is getting in next. He will be the next Hall of Famer. I'm just saying, bro, like, that's how they do things now, you know? But it is what it is. All right, y'all, we're going to our last quick takes topic, and it's all about basketball. We talked about it last week a little bit, but Ben Simmons, we've been trying to figure out where Ben gonna go, man. We've heard a couple names. I heard the Hornets. I've heard a little bit of everybody. Like everybody, obviously, I guess wants an opportunity at Ben, or maybe seems like they want an opportunity at Ben. But the question is, y'all, where will Ben land? LT, I'm gonna start with you. Where does Ben land? Because this is getting kind of complicated.
I don't know where he lands. I'm gonna tell you again where I want him to go. Boston Celtics. You guys have been one piece away for so long, right? For so long. We know that they're gonna want Jaylen Brown. We know that you're not gonna give him up. Throw Marcus Smart in the deal, right? He'll be around a bunch of shooters. Right, he can do his things. He still averages 7.7 assists a game. Right, It's not like he's not going to make a contribution. Throw him in there with the guys, and so Tatum doesn't have to score 50 points a game for you to win.
Been balling.
He'll play some defense. Come on, Boston Celtics will make it happen.
All right. James, where should Ben Simmons land?
I'd like to see Ben Simmons bring his game to Atlanta, man. I feel like he'd match up well there. I mean, of course, you might have to send John Collins back in that trade, but I feel like you could bring Ben to Atlanta, plug him in. He doesn't have to be the leading scorer. Really, you just need him facilitate for his defensive prowess, size, maybe use him around the rim. But I feel like he could do wonders in Atlanta with a Trae Young and the rest of those young crop of guys they got. The thing is, does Philly want to do a deal? I feel like that's really what's holding this up. Philly's caught up on, hey, we done paid him all this money. He's an all-star when he wants to play. I mean, we got to get max supreme value back from him. And it's like, look, the guy doesn't want to be there. You have a crap hand now when it comes to dealing him. At this point, you just got to take what you can get because you're going to get pennies on the dollar at this point. There's no way you're going to get top trade value for a guy who's made it clear and the organization made it clear. No longer, none of us want to be in this anymore. So just go ahead, ship the guy out, get it over with, take your lumps, and move on.
I agree on that one 100%. Cody, where should Ben land?
I feel Philly is really doing a disservice to their own team by not moving Simmons right now. I feel like his trade value is it's going down each day that he's still on this team because everybody knows he's not going to play with Philly again. And I mean, Philly has a very good team right now, and they're doing all of this without Simmons. So go ahead and get some pieces now so that you can make your run and possibly win a championship this year. But there are a lot of names out there on the market right now that has come out over the past, couple months or so of players that are looking to possibly be moved by their current team. So, for instance, the Hawks and John Collins. You have Sacramento with De'Aaron Fox. You have the Pacers with Miles Turner, Sabonis, or LeVert. You can throw in Washington because Bradley Beal likely isn't going to re-sign there. And then you can throw in the Celtics where they need to decide, do they want to keep Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum? They need to move one of them for a piece. So I feel like any of those five teams can, number one, use Ben Simmons. And I feel that they can get a decent haul back for any of those guys that I just named.
All right. Jay, where should Ben Simmons land?
Well, see, I like the small market teams, what Cody had said about, Indy, but possibly also, why not Detroit? They got, Cade Cunningham, build around him, send Grant going. I mean, he doesn't really fit there anymore. And Sacramento, they're one piece away from actually being a decent team. Send Fox. Hell, send the Tyler guy. I can't never say his fucking last name.
Halliburton?
Yeah, there you go. That guy.
The creator? Look, the creator?
Exactly. I mean, them waiting, they're basically going to get nothing for him. It makes no sense. It's like, keeping Kyrie Irving around. No, I'm kidding.
That's funny. I will say this. I think
only there part-time.
Well, just part-time.
He's only there part-time.
I think that I know I heard recently that Michael Jordan was trying to make a push to get him there in Charlotte. That would be intriguing to try to kind of give LaMelo Ball a little bit extra star power there. I don't know if Ben Simmons is the answer there, but somebody brought this up to me. I believe it was yesterday. Why not just trade him and Russell? I mean, just flop him in LA. Both people just say, you know what, we're gonna get a defensive guy, and then Russ can go there. I don't know if Russ might mess up the rhythm up there in Philly, but it would just be intriguing to me to see happen.
I can hear Ty cussing.
As long as he don't come to Miami, we good. Don't come I don't know. Ben might work in Miami though. I don't know. He's defensive guy. I don't know.
Until Jimmy comes back.
Yeah. I don't know. We can't have that.
Jimmy.
Nah, we can't have that. Jimmy don't.
Yeah, I don't know if Philly has they have
No.
enough backboards for Russell Wilson to come there. All them bricks he's throwing up, man.
Not only
Man,
that,
what is
I mean,
going on with Russ, man?
Ben Simmons can't go to Charlotte with MJ. I mean, the type of player, the type of person MJ is, the work ethic, all that. He would chew Simmons out, spit him out. No, he can't go there.
Hey, same with the Lakers and LeBron.
Just like he can't go to Miami. No, LeBron tries to make it work with everybody. We've never seen him really chew somebody out the way Jordan punching teammates in the face. Jimmy Butler walking in the gym like, look, give me him. I'm gonna bust all y'all ass. Ben Simmons can't take that. Ben Simmons can't take that.
He ain't ready for it.
Look at what Jimmy Butler did in Minnesota. You think Ben Simmons can walk in there and play with a Jimmy Butler? No,
you got to do that. I don't want him there personally. That's me.
If they did switch him and Russ though, Philly would be the biggest trash talking team in the league, and I would love that.
Oh my God,
Embiid and Russ. Oh my God.
They're just saying whatever. They're just saying whatever. All right, everybody. That was it for our quick takes this week. And we had to add an extra couple to it. Like right before, we was like, man, we got to add these because there's so much stuff going on. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to do our playoff predictions. This one kind of hurts, but we're going to go ahead and do them anyway. First, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to swing over and do the AFC Championship game. It is official. We've seen some greatness, ladies and gentlemen. We saw some greatness over the weekend. Very close games. We went from a garbage week to a very exciting week, just like that. So it's going to be an interesting one there in Kansas City. So I think I'll start this one with I'm gonna start this one with LT. Lamont, you look at these two teams and how it all kind of came together. We had a Buffalo. First of all, how's your dad? Let me start off there. How's your dad? Because I've been concerned about him. How's your dad?
He's good, man. Let me tell you, I was afraid myself to check. I didn't say anything to him unless when they first lost, I said, you got nothing to hang your hat over, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like a father would say to
reverse the roles.
The next morning, I just slipped him a text. I was like, you all right? He was like, yeah, man, I'm good.
Yeah. I was concerned. I almost wanted to text him and say, look, bro, I understand exactly how you feel. That's how bad. I don't even have your dad's number, but that's how close I felt to it on that one. But yeah, Lamont, let me ask you your thoughts on this one. First, give me your thoughts on last weekend as a whole, and then give me your prediction. And I won't start the clock until you actually do your prediction. Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, first off, I am proud of the Bengals, man. We predicted, a few of us predicted, they'd win the game, and they did. They came through, and for them to just be rising up, first of all in that division in the AFC North, battling all those juggernauts, and now to actually be turning the corner, man, it's a big deal for them. So, I'm happy that, Cincy pride is turned up. As far as Kansas City, it's hard, man. It's going to be hard to knock them off. It's going to be hard to knock them off because now they've got momentum going with, their experience. And that's a dangerous combination, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. And the defense is they didn't get that much pressure on Allen, but man, if I don't see the Bengals being able to deal with the defense, and that's what we don't talk about enough with Kansas City. Like, they can get pressure, and Burrow has been hit a lot of times this year. So I think the Chiefs take them. I see them going up by 17. And I think the Bengals are going to claw and fight their way back. And I think they'll get back in it, but it'll just be too little too late.
Very interesting take there. Jay, thoughts on last weekend and who wins it?
We've seen this matchup before. Week 17 they played, and the Bengals won. But the thing that you don't look at is, they're looking at the W. They didn't do anything to pressure Mahomes. He had good numbers. He wasn't sacked once. A big thing for the Chiefs, though, they need to make sure Tyrann Mathieu comes back, because if he don't, Jamar Chase is going to light him up. He's a whole different level of wide receiver than we've seen. I can't talk enough about the fact, because a lot of us were like, why didn't they take a lineman to protect him? shit. I know why.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
fast. So, I mean, I don't – they're going to have to double him every time. And then you still got T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd to fend with. I mean, this is going to be great. But I'm going to have to pick Patrick Mahomes in the coin flip. It's going to be a great game. For once, I can say the Bengals are going to show up, and it's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be great. I'm more excited about this game than the game I'm supposed to be playing my team in, that they're not there.
Same dream. I'm right there with you. We should be playing each other this week, but we'll talk about that later. James, what are your thoughts from last weekend, and give me your prediction?
All right, so first of all, I'm not sure if this guy knows it or not, but Ryan Tannehill, you're supposed to throw the ball to the guy wearing the same jersey color as you. I mean, you start the game off with an interception over the middle where the safety easily just read your eyes, picked it off in front of Julio Jones. And then not only that, the team was competitive. Tennessee was going back and forth. I feel like a lot of mistakes were made on Tennessee's side. One, Vrabel, I know you got the penalty, and they moved the ball up to the 1 yard line. Just kick the field goal. If you'd have kicked the field goal, there'd have never been a tie. You'd have never had to deal with this. But also Tannehill, when there's under a minute left and it's third down and you have a tie ball game, what you don't do is force the ball over the middle. You don't do that. So, that was an awful way to go. But, Bengals pulled it out despite Burrow getting beat up, sacked 9 times. Looking forward to this week. It's going to be a hell of a matchup. Like Jay said, these teams have already faced off with Cincinnati getting the win. The only difference this time is going to be reverse. Cincinnati's coming to Kansas City, and Arrowhead is going to be rocking. Mahomes is rocking. I mean, we just saw Tyreek Hill shred the whole Bills defense to get that one touchdown where literally he made grown men look like slow children. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like it. I feel like Kansas City is going to get the win. Hopefully, this will be a competitive matchup. He did sneak the deuces in there. I was so glad a flag wasn't thrown. No, let us have it. It is playoff football. No taunting flags. No taunting flags for playoff football. But Kansas City gets the win here. It's probably going to be a high-scoring game, especially if Matthew isn't there. Because like Jay said, the Bengals can put up points. Jamar Chase, hell of a beast. I mean, the guy's phenomenal. So
all right.
We should have a good matchup.
Cody. Where are you going on this one, brother?
So I have a couple of things on that Bengals-Titans game and the same with the Chiefs-Bills game. But first, I want to say best weekend of NFL football ever. Every single last play of every game was the game-winning score. That's absolute. You couldn't script it any better. But about that Bengals-Titans game, Joe Burrow was sacked 9 times. You do not win a game. Or you would think you wouldn't win a game if you were sacked 9 times. But let me just tell you about how history is. There's been 2 other games that there's been 8 or more sacks in a game in the playoffs. And the teams are 1-1. The Packers lost to the Eagles, and the Patriots beat the Titans. And about Ryan Tannehill real quick, he puts up, really good regular season numbers, but in the playoffs, in his 5 games, he's averaging 150 yards passing, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. That's not going to get it done in the playoffs. On that Bills and Chiefs game, 32 points scored within the last 2 minutes of regulation or overtime. And just shout out to Josh Allen real quick, man. In the playoffs this year, 637 yards passing, 77% completion rate, 9 passing touchdowns, 134 rushing yards, and 0 turnovers. The Bills will be back in it next year, the year after that. So, but about this Chiefs and Bengals game, there's only 2 teams in the history of the NFL that are undefeated in the conference championship games. The Giants are 5-0 and the Bengals are 2-0. So, I just want to throw that out there. Another thing, this year the Bengals have been underdogs by 3 or more points 6 times this year. They're 5-1 in those games, and the only loss came Week 18 when they played the Browns, and Joe Burrow didn't play because they were resting some of their starters. They are a 7-point underdog this week against Kansas City. And if you're a betting guy, take the over in this game, including last week's Bills-Kansas City game. There's only been 10 games with an over-under of 54 points. the over hits 9 out of 10 times. This one is 54.5, so bet the over on that. But with all that said, I got Kansas City winning this game, 41-35.
All right. Okay, man, that's, you know what? This is tough because I'm gonna put myself.
Because you're always wrong.
Yeah, that's one. That's why I don't. It's weird for me because, like, you know, all right. So I don't know why I'm always wrong, and it bothers me because I feel like I'm a smart guy. For whatever reason, the prediction guys don't like me, but that's okay. I'm going to say I want to go with. All right, when my team loses in the playoffs, I always go for the team that's never won it. If that team does exist in the playoffs. Right now, that team that doesn't exist is the Bengals. They've never won it. They've been to 2 Super Bowls. Heartbreak by the 49ers. If somehow, some way they play the 49ers again and they lose, boy, the 49ers, you talking about a team having a team's number, especially in a big game like that, that'd be crazy. But I'm definitely going with the Chiefs in this one because, I mean, here's the thing. Pat Mahomes at home hasn't lost in the playoffs. And it's crazy how early in the season we were talking about how the Chiefs were falling apart. Remember all the people, the Chiefs are garbage. It's all over. It's done with. Well, guess what? They're a game away from the Super Bowl, and Pat Mahomes is just a game, 2 games away from winning his 2nd Super Bowl. Right now, they're the odds-on favorite. I'm going with the Chiefs. I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. Now let's swing over to the NFC side. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay, I may excuse me and you both from this conversation. We may not even need to talk about this. But
I want to talk about this shit.
The low seeds, the 1 and 2 seeds, unfortunately, last week got defeated by San Francisco and the LA Rams. And you know, it's crazy when we had our prediction show. I believe it was all of us on the prediction show. And when we had that prediction show, we talked about how tough the NFC West was going to be. Are we really surprised, ladies and gentlemen, that 2 NFC West teams are in the NFC Championship game, especially after, you know, how we talked about how good the division would be? You know, obviously,
really surprised the 49ers are there, though, to be honest.
I'm a little surprised, but then you also got to think about it. 2 years ago, this 49ers team was in the Super Bowl. They were hurt all last season, and now they're back in the mix. So I don't know if we should be crazy surprised, but nevertheless. All right, I'm gonna let somebody who wants to go first. Jay's got his hand up. Who we got?
Jay can go.
Hey, all right, so Cody's letting Jay go first. All right,
Jay don't want to go first. This is bullshit.
All right,
okay.
Cody is going first. Cody, what are your thoughts on this championship game, my man?
You know, this game is really I think it's gonna be a really good game, and one of the reasons is because, you know, when it's 2 teams out of the division playing each other in a game that really matters, we always get special moments. And I mean, the 49ers beat the Rams twice in the regular season this year, and actually I think they beat them 6 straight times. So that's something that the Rams really have to get going if they want to make it to the Super Bowl. They have to overcome whatever juju the 49ers have over them. But let me tell you this. Since the realignment in 2002, there have been 8 playoff games played where 2 teams have met for a 3rd time, and one of those teams won both times in the regular season. The team that won both times in the regular season is 5-3. So the history is on the 49ers side. But I do want to point out something real quick. I've heard it, you know, in the past from different media talking about, you know, Jimmy Garoppolo, like he's going to be the X factor. You know, he needs to do this, he needs to do that. I will never buy that a day in my life again. And let me tell you why. So Jimmy G has played 6 regular season games where he started and finished the whole game, where he threw 0 touchdowns. His teams are 6-0 in those games. Okay, he's played 3 playoff games where he's thrown 0 touchdowns. His team is 3-0 in those games. All Jimmy G needs to do is just not turn the ball over. I mean, it's just that simple. So, y'all know I've been rolling with Stafford this year, though. Y'all know that's my boy. Y'all know I'm always talking about him in the chat and stuff. So, yes, I'm going with the Rams over the 49ers. Give me 27-21 Los Angeles.
All right. LT, we got a 49ers, Rams, NFC Championship game, the late game on Sunday. Who you got?
First of all, let me say I am a little bit disheartened that we didn't get the Packers in this game. Like, if I have to choose versus the 49ers. It's a no-brainer. I really wanted to see Packers Rams. I wanted to see that game. But all that to say, we got the 49ers. And yes, I have the Rams, and I think the difference is going to be that defense has now come together. I have been questioning Raheem Moore. What are you going to do with all the pieces? And we've seen those pieces come alive. They gave Tampa some problems, and I think that now is the time, that it's just clicking for them. They still got the offensive juggernauts. Cooper Kupp's doing his thing. Stafford's looking great, just like Cody's been saying. I got the Rams, and the one thing that I gotta go against what Cody said is you said, yeah, Jimmy G doesn't have to throw touchdowns. All he has to do is not turn the ball over. He still does that, right? That's the thing. We've seen him throw the pick. We've seen just when they getting good, and they're thinking that they're running away with it. He does that. No offensive touchdowns. You can't get away with that forever, especially at the top of the top. So I got the Rams, man. I got the Rams taking this game.
Hate Jimmy G. I hate him. I'm sorry.
He's Matt Castle Part 2.
Yeah, it's like flashbacks in my head. It's ridiculous. James, who you got in this one, brother?
First, I'm saying LT. Matt Castle Part 2. That's a little cold, man.
It is.
Jimmy G is better than Matt Castle, man. Good.
He is. But I mean, that's the basis of how he got his job. So I mean, let's be real.
Okay.
Matt Castle did more to get his.
Yeah. What? 11? They won what?
11-5. He went 11-5. Yep.
11-5 that year. So yeah,
saying
definitely done more than Jimmy to earn the job. I'm gonna say in this one, man, the Rams are gonna take it. I mean, they're at home, playing in SoFi, for a chance to go to the Super Bowl at home in SoFi Stadium. I mean, like Cody said, San Francisco has dominated this matchup, but I feel like this week it means a little bit more for the Rams because they know what's at stake, they know what's on the line. And I feel like they show up with that fire, with that intensity to just go ahead and knock the 49ers off and get that monkey off their back. I mean, we've seen this team battle throughout the playoffs and the Rams. I mean, last week, they almost coughed it up and gave it away, and they came together to find the resolve. I mean, this was a team last week that had how many turnovers? Akers fumbled it twice. Kupp fumbled. They had 4 fumbles in the second half alone, I think, almost. And they still found a way to battle back to get the W. I feel like they're going to need to dig down deep once again to get over this hump in San Francisco, and then they'll be watered with a shot to go to the championship in the NFL Super Bowl. And I will say, because I've been saying it each week and it's been working, Odell, stay away from boats for another week, please. Stay away from the boats. But I know he's going to buzz me. But I'll also say, if you're a 49ers fan, I think you should be hoping your team does lose, because think of the controversy this is going to cause if Jimmy G does get you over the hump and does get you the Super Bowl win, because you just traded away your future for Trey Lance. And now you have a Super Bowl winning quarterback potentially already on your roster. We haven't seen a team get rid of a Super Bowl winning quarterback that was a starter since the Ravens did it in 2000 with Trent Dilfer. How likely are we to see that again? So if you're a 49ers fan, you're probably hoping like, look, this is promising. This looks good for Trey to come in and take this thing over. But, let's get Trey in there, because you mortgage the future for the guy.
That's true. That's true. Jay, what you got going on this one, brother?
Okay, the Rams shouldn't be in this damn game. Plain and simple. And
yeah, Jay. And the 49ers shouldn't be too. That's right, Jay. Speaking.
I actually have a good argument on this, because if you watch after he completed the pass, I believe it was to Cooper Kupp down the field to get him in field goal range, they ran up on the ball and they spiked it. The ref never spotted the ball or touched it, because wasn't there a penalty or a runoff of clock time in the Cowboys game 2 weeks earlier because they tried to do that, but the ump never touched the ball?
Hey, Jay, real quick. If you watch the whole video, the ref, not the back umpire who's like behind the quarterback, the ref that's like right in the middle of the field, he spotted the ball right there. It wasn't the back ump. That's what everybody's going off about, because they're like, the back ump did it for Dallas. And they're like, well, why couldn't the other ump do it since he would have been closer? But a ref did spot the ball.
I didn't see anybody with stripes. I just seen Jack.
I just saw the boy because I just saw him go up.
So, I'm cover 0. That's gonna haunt me the rest of my fucking life. But the other thing, the Rams are gonna win it. they're going to go in there. I mean, as long as they don't, you're going to see more Sony Michel because everybody's pumped that Akers was back, but he's playing hot potato. And, just let him pass. Stafford got command of that pocket. Bosa will play about a quarter and a half before he tweaks a hamstring or something. And that pass rush is done after that. So, I mean, I have no faith in Jimmy Garoppolo. He's getting paid a whole bunch of Matt Castle money. And who's that guy that got paid a whole bunch of money by the Broncos? Broncos.
Oh, Matt Flynn.
Yeah.
That's who you talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's talking about Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn got all that money to Seattle, and then Russell took his job.
No. Brock Osweiler.
Oh, Brock. Okay. Yeah.
Rob is blind.
But, yeah, it's going to be the Rams against the Chiefs.
All right, Rams against the Chiefs.
Careful
all
when
right.
you pay a quarterback.
All right. I guess I'm going to be the guy that Lone Rangers this pick.
Again?
And yeah. And I have a method to my madness here. Like, so here's the thing. 49ers
That's what you said
fans,
last week.
Pickle beats the Packers.
No, let me 49ers fans. There's two fan bases that hate when I pick their team. That would be the Desperados of Arlington and the San Francisco 49ers. They hate when I pick their team because their team always loses when I pick them. But if I pick against them, they win.
I see your evilness.
I am picking the San Francisco 49ers. Why? Because San Francisco beat better. Doesn't make a difference. They have found a way. They have found a way to win these games in like the worst way possible. Jimmy G has been miserable. But, hey, guess what? The last 5 games against the Rams, they've beaten them. So here it is. Here's an opportunity to go 6-0. And I'm saying Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers are going to the Super Bowl.
Put the Drake curse on them.
Do you know how many people? Chris White is going to whoop your ass.
That's okay. These are for all the phone calls I got last week, people. San Francisco wins this game. I got San Francisco and the Chiefs in a rematch of Super Bowl, I believe, 54. There you go. That's all for you 49ers fans out there because I love y'all. All right, everybody. That is our predictions for the playoffs. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. We're about to end this bad boy, and we can only end it one way. It is time.
Fire, 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 burn on. Fire, 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 burn on. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
All right, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to put out the fire here on Legacy on Fire and wrap this bad boy up. Another great week of Legacy on Fire topics. So I'm going to start this one off with James. I'm gonna let you, no, actually, who had the best record last week? That was Cody, correct? Cody, you went 3-1?
3-1.
So Jay also went 3-1. All right, so I'm gonna let you fellas decide who gets to go first.
No, Cody, go first because I'm smoking crack.
Okay, all right, so Cody, go first.
Wait a minute.
Well, that brings me to my next point. What I want to put out is drug use, okay? So I'm sorry to do this to EDO, but I have to talk about Aaron Rodgers real quick, man.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm so disappointed in him, man. And like, I understand his stats against the 49ers a couple of days ago. I think it was like 20 for 29, over 200 yards passing. No touchdowns were thrown. I don't believe he had any turnovers either. But still, I mean, you're saying he's a top 10 quarterback of all time. He's been a top 3 quarterback the past decade or so. You need more from this guy. Going into that game, and the 9 losses that he had in the playoffs, or that the Packers had in the playoffs, is with Aaron Rodgers being their starting quarterback, that defense had given up, on average, 35 points a game. They only gave up, well, technically the defense only gave up, 6 points because the special teams gave up 7 of them on that blocked, the block punt. So you're just expecting more from Aaron Rodgers there, and he did not come through. I want to read this stat about Aaron Rodgers and the 49ers real quick. He has more interceptions against the 49ers in the playoffs than he does against them in the regular season. He's played the 49ers 3 times in the playoffs, 9 times in the regular season, and he's only thrown 2 interceptions against them in the regular season, 3 in the postseason. It's just when he plays the 49ers in the regular season, I mean, he just always comes out. Not saying he always gets the win, but, I mean, he looks like that top-tier quarterback. But in the playoffs against them, he looks like Jameis Winston.
I can't even deny what you're saying here, sir. I cannot defend this man anymore. I just can't. Every time somebody says something about him, I put the T.O. crying emoji. Get somebody. That's my quarterback. I can't do that right now. I still love him, despite everything. But nah, I cannot defend you no more, Mr. Rogers. I just can't. LT.
All right. My fire is going to go to these Winter Olympics in Beijing and these horrible rumors about how how they're handling the quarantine situation. And we know COVID's a factor, but come on, guys. Hearing rumors that media personnel and, anybody who has to be quarantined are going to these places that are deemed to be 1-star hotels.
Wow.
Motels even. Over there, and it's not a good look. And then the more that comes out, the more horrific it is. You guys got to prepare better. You got to treat these people better. It's supposed to be the highlight of their lives, and not the nightmare on Elm Street or a nightmare in Beijing. So
That's a good one.
you guys got to fix that. Got to fix that. Talking the pinnacle of sports, man. Let's go.
Exactly. I agree with that 100%. That's crazy. 1-star motels, and it's supposed to be the Olympics. That's wild. James, put out the fire, sir.
Before I go, I want to say maybe for Cody with Aaron Rodgers when it comes to the 49ers in the postseason, I feel like in the back of his head, he's still thinking, you guys should have taken me number one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you today. And somehow today just never comes. It just never works out for him. Maybe he's trying too hard to prove that he should have been the guy. But it's like, Aaron, that was years ago. Let it go, man. Move forward. I know you rooted for the team growing up. Move forward. Move on. This week, I'd like to actually kind of shed the light on something that we had previously talked about when it came to putting out the fire. The lack of minority presence as far as coaching and in the front office when it comes to the NFL. This week, we saw where two teams, the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings, have chosen minority candidates to be their next GM candidates. The Bears went with Ryan Poles from the Kansas City Chiefs. They made him their new active GM. And the Minnesota Vikings actually went with, I believe it's Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah from the Cleveland Browns. Another minority.
Everybody was like, yeah. Good job, James.
I try. Another minority candidate from the Cleveland Browns. I mean, this is what we've asked for. This is what we're starting to see, where minority candidates are being considered. They're getting these roles. This is a good start. We're not satisfied. We're even hearing reports that, possibility that finalizing in Jacksonville that Byron Leftwich, another minority candidate, is going to be a head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not to mention, what's my guy? Brian Flores is still out there. So this is a great start. We're not satisfied. No way am I saying, hey, this is enough. It's a great start. We're starting to see some progress. Now, I will say maybe some people think maybe it's for the minority compensation. I believe teams may get an additional third-round pick. But I would genuinely like to believe that these guys were the best men for the job, and that's why they were chosen. So we're starting to see progress. Progress is always good.
Awesome. And first of all, I'll give you credit for that name pronunciation. That's just as good as when LT was on Legacy on Fire probably about a couple episodes back, and he had to say our man from Notre Dame.
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to make sure he was ready for it. All right. All right. So look, I'm gonna put out the fire. This is a personal put out the fire. And I said it once in the show already. Ladies and gentlemen.
Are you skipping my ass again?
No. You're going last, bro. You had a choice. That's why you're going last. You could have went first. You could have went first. You had your chance. You had your chance. Here's the deal. All right. So here's my thing, y'all. Here's my thing. When I am in mourning from my team losing, don't call my phone. Don't text me. Don't leave. And I think this would go for any fan. I understand you're going to shoot your shots on Facebook. Don't tag me in nothing. Don't say nothing to me. All right. I never talk trash about your teams. Don't you come at me with this craziness every time. So, I go AWOL for at least sometimes for a week, depending on who you are, maybe a couple of days if I like you, so on and so on. All I'm saying is, let me be, man. If your team loses Super Bowl, I'm like, hey, man, what's up, man? Heard you lost that game. Hey, leave me alone, bro. Leave me alone. That's all I'm asking. This is a personal. Leave me alone when I'm mourning my team's loss. Okay, that's all I'm asking for. That is my fire. Just leave me alone. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Jay, your turn to put out the fire.
A little bit off of what James said. We're seeing a more diversity. The Cavaliers hired the first female black woman to be part of their CEO positions of the team, which kudos to them. Her name is Shelly Kayetta. Oh, I probably fucked that up. But anyway, Kayetta. But
it's something. But they did a good thing.
I like what they're doing. I gotta say, since the LeBron James fuck up where he did his, I'm gonna leave. The decision bullshit. They've done great rebuilding that team. I'm very happy to be a fan of that team. The other thing that still gets me, we're media, but the Kobe Bryant trial shit, there should not be a trial about these fuckers taking pictures of the crash and body. How low of a human being do you have to be to want to make money off of that?
Ridiculous.
That's dumb. I mean, there's a special place in hell for you. I
agree with you 100%, brother. That's absolutely stupid. Family has been dealing with a loss of not just one, but two.
Exactly.
People in your family, in your immediate family. And this is what you're going to put this woman through. She's got to try to still kind of deal with the loss of her husband.
And then for them
daughter?
to have the balls to say, is she mentally okay? Really? No, she's not okay, you assholes.
People are crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. I really, truly just don't understand it, y'all. Really
Somebody
don't
needs to just randomly hop a curb and take them out.
Jay, I love your thought process on that one.
We're not condoning violence here.
We're not condoning violence. Good job. Good job.
Just want to put that other. We're not condoning violence.
Violence and drugs are bad.
Might be nice.
Yes,
no drugs either.
But something definitely needs to be done.
One thing I've learned in life, though, is karma is a very unforgiving, non-forgetting bitch.
This, sir, is a true statement. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Once again, everybody, this has been Legacy on Fire, episode 21. Next week we won't be here next week, but the following week, Super Bowl week, we'll be back. We're taking a break for Super Bowl week. Me and Jay will be coming to you next week with our awards show for the Legacy Maker Sports podcast. So be ready for our award show next week as we go through and give you our award winners for that. But Legacy's going to take 1 week break, and then we'll be back for the Super Bowl and bring you the heat as we get ready for the Super Bowl. I can't wait. I know the fellas can't wait on that. Before we get out of here, James, is there anything you want to say, brother?
Another great week, another great show with the guys. Hey, I'm good to go, man.
All right. Jay, anything you want to say, brother, before we get out of here?
I'm done. Again, love your people. You never know. Love hanging out with you guys. My dad talked to him today. He's still getting over the vid, and he's like, your one guy on there is always got that window behind him. Is he standing up the whole damn show? I said no. I was like, what do you think he is, a midget?
Oh my God!
It's just the angle. I was like, no, Dad. He's sitting down. Trust me.
He's sitting down. Gotta love Pops. And Jay will say, prayers out to Pops, man. Hoping that everything is feeling better and hope that he's doing well. I mean, we give our love and support. Pops has been a supporter since day one. Him. So we just want to make sure that we know that we love him. We love you, Pops. Let's see. We've got LT. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Nah, I appreciate it. Again, being on with you guys, man. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. A lot of funniness. I'm sorry for my mediocrity. 2 and 2. I can't shake it.
Well, I'm just below average, sir. So let's just get that straight. I don't know what my playoff record is. I'm like 5 and. Oh, shoot, I lost
LT, I gotta tell you, I love your shirt because I actually wore mine 2 days ago.
Yeah, gotta show the ACC network.
Yeah,
from
man. Look, the ACC shows us love. Got to show them a little love back. So we appreciate the ACC. Cody, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Man, another beautiful show. Love talking sports. Got my fix in this week because of this. Love talking with y'all. Honored that I'm on again, man. So let's keep this train going, man.
Yeah, but don't worry, y'all. We're going to see a lot more Legacy on Fire here in the oncoming months. We're going to definitely bring in the heat here. Yes, this is our crew. Rob Johnson has told me personally he will be back at some point to scream and let us all know who run the projects. So we all know that.
Hey, bring them on here because me and him got to go at it about Stafford, bro. Me and him got to go at it.
Gotta go at it. So our man Rob will be back on here soon. But like I said, he's the hardest working man.
He flips that switch.
17 jobs,
he
man.
did a bump of coke. He's like, whoa.
17 jobs for my man Rob. Nobody does it better. So, and so we'll have more people on as we go along here for Legacy on Fire. Once again, I'm your man Darrell Lawrence. We got LT, we got Cody, we got James Brown, we got Jake Quimby. Look, y'all. If things get crazy over the next week, who knows? We might be back next week. We just don't know, but we will definitely be back Super Bowl week. Once again, everybody, thank you all for tuning in to Legacy on Fire. I'm your man, Darrell Owens. This is the Legacy Maker Sports Network, and this has been Legacy on Fire.
God bless.